All right. What's good, family? What's good? How is everyone doing today? IOBA, my name is TC, and I had to talk about this one here. There was a police shooting, right, in Huntington Park. I believe that's in California, Huntington Park. And I'm looking at this thing, right? And I'm reading the story, and I'm looking at the video, and the man was a double amputee. He has no legs from the knees down. No legs from the knees down. A double amputee. Now, he was armed. He had a knife. Excuse me. They say he stabbed someone. But I didn't see anything that looked like a crime scene other than what they were doing to him. I didn't see anything around that looked like a crime scene other than what I saw the police doing to that brother. Now, apparently the dude got out of his chair and started running down the street. Got out of his wheelchair and started running down the street with his knife. And the police officer is walking behind him, pumping rounds into his back with his pistol, pumping rounds into the guy's back as the guy is trying to run down the street with his knife. And he's running, and the police officer's walking behind him, which means all they had to do was encircle the guy, because he didn't have a firearm, encircle the guy and cut him off, or let him run. Where's he going? Where he going? Let him run. You gonna run to the corner where you'll be waiting for him to throw a net over his goddamn head? Because that's all they had to do. They said the tasers didn't work. The tasers didn't work. They said they tased him twice. It didn't work. So either they got a problem with their tasers, they either got them on set too low, or they shitty tasers, or by saying that the tasers didn't work, they meant the tasers didn't kill the guy, because that's why they had to get their revolvers out and actually kill the guy that was running away from them on his nubs with a knife. I seen some third world cops walk right up on a motherfucker. 6 foot tall the guy was, I think. But he definitely had a machete. Big 2 foot long machete. The brother walked right up to him, disarmed him, and put him in handcuffs. Or apprehended him. Check the video up there. It was an African police officer. Might have been Nigerian. No, I checked that. I'm sure he was Caribbean. Walked right up to the guy with the fucking machete, disarmed him, and walked off with him. Doesn't matter if he was Caribbean or African. It was a big black cop that did that shit. In this country, the big black cops get up 5 deep and beat defenseless brothers to death like they did over in Memphis, Tennessee. That's what the big black cops do here. And the little white cops, they walk behind double amputees and pump rounds into their back like they pieces of dirt because they afraid. That's what the cops here do. I try my best to stay the fuck away from the police, I tell you. I live in a big city, spread the fuck out, where I really rarely come into contact with them. I get my gas, I go to work, I go home. When me and my wife want to go out of town, I hop on on the highway, on I-10 or 95 North, and go. Because dealing with the police is something that everybody black should avoid. We got to get out the habit of calling them motherfuckers so much. But sometimes you ain't got to call them. They start fucking with you like they did with Tyree Nichols. Tyree Nichols. I knew I was going to say, sound like Kyrie Irving. With Tyree Nichols. I apologize for butchering that name. Never do that again. But yeah, man, that's how the police in this country operate. And little motherfucking cowards, that do stuff like this. And then run around and tell everybody how dangerous their job is. Nope. I stay the fuck away from them if I can. And if I have to deal with police, I make it short and sweet. Because when I was younger, I used to have to interact with them a lot in my little town I was in. You can't get away from them. That's why I don't like living in, small cities where the neighborhood that I want to live in is always saturated with cops. Motherfuckers like to say, there's so many cops in your neighborhood because there's so much crime. No, there's so much crime in my neighborhood because there's so many cops in my neighborhood harassing people for going about living their life and creating crime. If you was to take these same number of cops and put them in a white neighborhood, the same shit would be happening. They'll be pulling people over for erratic driving. They'll be pulling people over for cracked tail lights. They'll be snatching up people for not having ID. They'll be fucking with people because they got a nice car and they think they're a drug dealer. If they was doing that kind of shit in a white neighborhood, if they put all them cops in a white neighborhood, they'd find just as much crime. Because in the black neighborhood, all we doing is going about our business, 99% of us. How do I know? Because I've been going to work a bunch of times and get harassed by the police. But because I know how to handle it, they leave me alone. Because I don't have a criminal record or I don't have a record. No, I said it right. Because I don't have a criminal record, they have to leave me alone and let me go. Because I worked in the community and I was, really visible, they had to leave me alone and let me go. I had a full-time job, blah, blah, blah. They had to leave me alone and let me go. But that didn't make them leave me alone. Leaving somebody alone and letting somebody go, that's two different things. Had I been stupid and got frustrated at being fucked with so much, who knows, I might not be here. You know what I mean? I'm glad I got out that little ass town. But yeah, these are the things we're dealing with. Every damn day the police kill somebody in this country. I bet you somebody getting killed right now. I bet you somebody getting shot right now in a confrontation with some police somewhere in this country. The brother's name that got shot, his name was Anthony Lowe. Anthony Lowe. L-O-W-E, like Lowe's hardware store. Right? Yep, Anthony Lowe. That's the brother that got killed by the police. The double amputee. That's the most pitiful shit I've seen this week. The most pitiful. It wasn't the most tragic. It wasn't the most egregious. Because that was that Kyrie Irving thing where they murdered that man. But this one, they murdered him too. But I'm thinking Tyree Nichols' case was worse than this one. But this one was pretty fucking bad. Because that's the epitome of lame right there. Anyway, I guess I have to leave it there. We'll see what these sorry ass motherfuckers do tomorrow. It's crazy, man. I'll talk to y'all later. TC, and I'm out.